Just do you want to come up here or do you want to... James has been complaining all day, by the way. He's been complaining about his sponsor, he's been complaining about the products. Okay, I think the thing to do is any area of the business, any aspect of the business, you've got myself, James here, Sir Owen here. I mean, between us, we're probably, you know, in the top 5 or 6 earners in the company. So if you'd like to ask any questions, far away. Anybody, anything anybody wants to cover.
Hello, my name is Gasani. Can you give us some example on the creative approach, other than some example for us to how we do creative approach?
Creative approach.
Yeah.
Creative approach. Okay. It's not really what I meant. Okay. Are you asking me how you would approach someone? Is that what you're asking me? When I say creative, I'm talking about you being in. Do you want to?
Okay, I'll just share what do I, when I hear this, what do I mean by creative? Or maybe I'll just give you an example. I'm pretty creative in how I handle objections, and when people say certain things to me, or when I present the business, and there are people who actually say things like, oh, this kind of business, you have to keep finding people, you know, and stuff like that. So that's why they don't think that they can do it, or whatever. So when Peter meant creative is how creative you are to think of an answer, right? So how I would normally do it is I always look at them and say, wow, that's interesting. So you are saying that this business don't need to, or what business don't need to find people? So even if you sell coffee, you need to find dead people. So when I look at them like that, when I say it like that to them, then they get the point. So when I would say how to remain creative, it's how you as a person has to behave. You know, you have to be excited, you have to stay positive. When people throw things at you, you must be able to react and think on your feet. But how do you think on your feet? When people throw me something, it's not like, oh, yeah, you're right, I never think of it. How do you stay creative? I would say your brain has to continuously be working. That means you are always constantly thinking of objections, of possible things that people are going to ask because you are questioning it. If you don't question, if you don't keep thinking, when people throw something at you, you say, yeah, you're right, I never thought of it. So your creativity is killed. So if you want to continuously have creativity in your mind, then your mind has to keep on working. If you stop thinking, that's the time when you know that you kill your own creativity. So I hope that little example explains that.
Let me do a couple more, because actually I know where the question's coming from. Thank you. I know where the question's coming from, and I know what you're thinking. Let me give you 2 more. If you're going to be creative, you need to start feeding your mind. Start reading books. Start listening to positive material. Feed your brain with self-development. Because we all need to be constantly tuned like an engine. Even if you think you're positive, you need to keep feeding your brain through your ears, through your eyes, with positive information. So read The Magic of Thinking Big. Read Think and Grow Rich. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read Grow Rich with Peace of Mind. The first 4 books I ever read. The one that changed my life was Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Hello.
Okay? Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill I read when I was 23, and it changed my life. Because it was written for this industry. I couldn't believe it. It was like, wow. The mastermind principles in there, where you build a core of people around yourself. Okay? So feed your mind. That's one creative thing you need to be doing. The second creative thing you need to be doing is your brain, like a radar, needs to be constantly locked into anything that can grow your business. And that's people. Here's what I used to do. I used to do this to such a degree that it used to used to wear me out. I was kind of almost like hugely frustrated with myself because I couldn't stop thinking about it. It was my subconscious brain telling my conscious brain to do it. You see, and I'll tell you what it is in a minute, but if you feed your brain with positive, I'm going to be successful, I'm going to be wealthy, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to make this work, I'm going to make this work, you just keep telling your subconscious brain will just become like a computer. It will push away all the negative, and it will say, you're going to be a success in this, and whatever you then do, you are consciously controlled by the subconscious thoughts. Subconscious pushes into the conscious, and then what comes out of your mouth and the way you think on a minute by minute, hour by hour basis is wrapped around what you've programmed your subconscious brain to believe. Most people believe they're not worth much. Most people believe I'm just a bus driver. I mean, I'm not, you've got to get past that. You're not just a bus driver. You need to feed your subconscious brain. Now what then happens is, the second part of creative, is it comes back up into your conscious brain, and you start doing things that you weren't necessarily comfortable with before, but you know you have to, because it's like a drug. It's like heroin in your head that's telling you you have to talk to people. So what the creative thing that used to drive me crazy was everybody I met was a prospect. Everybody. Someone in a lift, someone in a shop. My brain would look at you and I'd go, you're a prospect for my business. You're a prospect for my business. You're a prospect for my business. And I used to get angry with myself. I was like, no, not everybody. Yes, they are. He's a prospect for your business. He's a prospect for your business. Mary used to say, you're not going to ask everybody. I said, I think I am. I've got to ask everybody. Everybody's a prospect for my business. I'm like sort of shaking with this. My brain is saying to me, ask everybody. Yeah, but it might be complete idiots. Ask them anyway. You'll find out. Because I had programmed myself to success. Therefore, my brain kept saying to me, you've got to do this. You've got to ask them. You've got to ask them about your business. Oh, but I don't ever say anything else to anybody. I'm only ever prospecting anybody. So I do all the time, 7 days a week. Yes, that's why you got rich, okay? Because what you kept doing was focusing on being a success. It became, I'll give you an example of how irritating it was. And you've got to do this. When I was a traffic policeman, they used to give us license plate, registration numbers on cars that have been stolen, right? When we went on duty, they say, right, these cars have been stolen overnight in the area. And we'd write the numbers down in our notebook. I would walk the streets, I'd be out on patrol, looking at every car that went past. I looked at the number on the car. Every single one, every car, all the cars in the street, looking at all the numbers, because I knew there were stolen cars out there somewhere. Even when I left the police force, I still kept looking at the numbers on the cars. And I used to walk down the road looking up, Peter, why are you doing this? You're not a policeman anymore. You wouldn't even know if they were stolen, because I had programmed my brain to be a policeman. I programmed my brain to look for stolen cars. I programmed my brain to look for prospects. So everybody was a prospect. If you're not asking everybody you meet, you're not going to get this done. If they can fog a mirror, right? I've got a mirror, and he breathes on it, and it fogs the mirror, you know, you get a little breath thing. He's a prospect. Because he's still alive. You don't know what's in his... He's a prospect. You should get so excited about this business that if you walk out of here and a bush moves in the wind, you start talking to it. Right? Because it might be alive and it might sign up in your business. Right? I'm serious. We used to do meetings when I was in Amway, and this hotel we would do the meeting in, the management would come and say, would you please tell your people to stop asking my staff if they want to make more money? Because all of my staff have been asked about 20 times, and I can't afford to lose my staff. If you keep doing this, you can't come back to this hotel. I've never seen that happen in World Ventures, but it used to happen in Amway. People would wander around the hotel, and the staff would go, you're the 74th person that's asked me if I want to make extra money. What is this? And I would say to someone, and they go, I'd say, yes, but have you said yes yet? And they go, I suppose I should, and you'll stop asking me. You say yes, I get your phone number, I tell you what we're doing in this meeting here today. But we used to get management, hotel management asked us to stop doing that, right? That's when you're on fire, because you are asking everybody. That's creative, okay? Thank you. Right. Another question? Anything else? No? Well, you're all that good. Yes. Hello, Wendy.
Good to see you. I have people always say that I'm not a network marketer. I'm born to be able to be in this field. Is there any answer that I can give them so that they will have hope and confidence in themselves instead of telling me they will not be one?
Do you want to, I've got an answer to that. Do you want to answer it? Yeah. Do you want me to, yeah, you do it first and I'll do it.
I always like answering questions. In fact, when anybody tell me they are not or whatever, first and foremost, I have to look at, are they saying that just to shut me off? To basically another way of telling me, no, I'm not interested? Or is genuinely they are incapable or they think that they are not worthy? Right? So, I mean, you can sense it when somebody tell you that, okay? So if, let's say, they are just trying to shut me off or whatever, and in fact, most of the time when people say that, this is not for me and all those stuff and things like that, for me, I won't like go and say, oh, let's do it together and help you or whatever, because our role is not here to convince anyone or to convert anyone. Our role here is to find those ones. You get me? So we are here to find those right people. We are not here to convert or change anyone. But if that person wants to be changed, he or she will show up. And when he or she will show up, it's not you trying to hunt them down. They are going to hunt you. Okay, they are going to come up to you and tell you that this is what they want. They want a change. They want it. And then that's where you work with these people. So those people who come up to me and say, or after they see this whole thing and they said, I'll think about it, or whatever, my instant reply to those people who tell me they want to think about it, I'll say, great, think about it, but don't take too long, because I'm going on. I'm moving on. Okay, don't take too long. And then I'll move on. You know what I mean? Because all these people who tell you, this is not for me, or this is whatever, I will just tell them, we have a team here, we have a support, this is what we have, and all those stuff. We are moving, we are growing. So you want to, basically, you want to attract people to you. You're not here to pull them in. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so remember this, we are not here to convince or convert. We are here to find. That's all.
James is spot on with that. All I was going to say was, it's the same thing. We are sifters. We are finding people. It's like you're panning for gold. And you're sort of looking in the pan, and most of it will be mud. And that doesn't mean people that don't do it are mud. What it means is that somewhere there are little tiny nuggets of gold. You don't know where they are, so you just keep panning more. You just keep pulling it up and having a look. And there's one. That's the next leader. You don't know. So your job is to sift through, go through people. It's a numbers game. It's always been a numbers game. None of us are that good that we can know when someone joins the business what they're going to do. And people can talk very loudly, and words are cheap. Words are cheap. Words will, oh yeah, I'll do that. Oh yeah, your actions. What you do, remember this phrase, it's an English phrase. What you do speaks so loudly, I can't hear what you're saying. Right? What you do speaks so loudly, I cannot hear what you're saying. Because action is what matters. We're looking for people to take action, and we don't know who they are. Does that help, Wendy? Thank you. Right. Any more?
Yep.
Yep.
I don't need a mic, I'm Indian, sorry.
I'll go.
I mean, in this part of the world, rightly or wrongly, network marketing has got a negative impression, so to speak. And so sometimes when you start with network marketing, the ambience of the presentation is already, because the guy has got a blocking mechanism coming up. So based on your experience, your experience, how do you overcome that kind of...
Again, I've got an answer for that. James, you must have an answer for that. We get 2 answers to every question.
Right, I appreciate that, sir, for bringing this up. In fact, if I'm just in, let's say, Singapore, and if all my life is in Singapore, and when somebody poses a question like that, I'll probably think it's true. It's only this area like that. But because I've been traveling to different countries, different part of the world and everything, everyone who came up with this question think that only in that region is like that. But actually everywhere that I hear and see, they all feel that their region, people are more negative than anybody else in the world against network marketing. Okay, so it's the same throughout the world. Everybody would think that way, and that's why they feel that it's so hard here. But if you were to think about it, network marketing, yes, it has, over the years, it has built up a very negative connotation, or a lot of people have different impression about it. And that's the reason why people have that feeling and why this industry suffered this way. Because it's one of those industries that can easily, anybody can participate. You know, you don't need to take exam to participate. You don't need to spend a lot of money to participate. Practically anybody can participate, and nobody can control it. And that's why a lot of people come in, fail, and they leave. Now, you see, even starting a business, as a businessman, how many people try to start a business and fail? And why do you not hear people say that business doesn't work? Because you know why? Because they spend a lot of money, and if they spend all this money and then didn't work, if they say that, it hurts even more. It hurts them so much, and people will feel that they're so stupid. That's why they don't go and complain to the whole world that business doesn't work. Does that make sense? But because network marketing is so easily for anyone to participate, and you spend so little money, and because it didn't work, basically when people say this industry doesn't work, because they just want to justify their own failure. You get me? So when you look at that, when people tell me, how do I approach people, because if they know it's network marketing, first and foremost is how do your own mindset feel about this industry. If people every time when you actually talk to people and they feel that this industry is not working or is negative and or whatever, it's also because you are feeling the same way. And that's why people, when they give you that response, you can't rebuke it, you can't tell people this is not. You get me? Why do I not have this problem? Not that I don't have people telling me it won't work. It's because my response back to them that makes them feel that maybe there's chance here. You get me? So it's back to you. How do you feel? Now, how do I reduce the chance of people telling me that network marketing, I'm not interested, or instantly build up a wall? How do I approach people? Basically, when I tell people, I don't upfront tell it's network marketing. I mean, not that I'm trying to hide from them. It's just because I don't know what's the experience about this industry. So rather than telling them upfront, which you could, all right? But there are people who actually, just tell people it's network marketing, whether you like it or not, and then if you like it, I'll work with you. So that's a very, very bold approach. But if you think that you want to have another approach, this is how I do it. I'll basically tell them that, hey, I have a business that I'm very excited about. I think this is going to work. I want you to help me check it out. Just come and take a look, and then that's it. I won't have to tell them this is travel, this is network marketing or whatever, because I don't want to actually, before they can see that information, already prejudge something. You get me? And it's nothing wrong to tell people it's about travel, but what if I tell you, and maybe just last night you quarrel with your spouse because of a trip. Then when I tell you it's travel, you say, nah, those things, wow. I mean, you're already angry about a situation, right? Or maybe because you just got fired, the person just got fired, and you tell this person about a business about travel, and then they had never even think about travel at this point. So why do you want to let them prejudge or jump into some conclusion before that? So I will never do that. I will just tell people that I have something really exciting and I think this is going to work, this thing is going to grow, to different part of Asia or even the world, that kind of thing. So I'm looking for people who are excited enough with me to actually grow a business. Okay? So it's your mindset, your behavior that's going to attract them. So it has nothing to do with its network marketing. Does that make sense? Okay? Yeah.
James, again, thanks, James. Again, James has covered an aspect. I want to hit it from another angle as well. When I was young in the industry, I was young, therefore I wasn't as confident. Because one thing that does come with age is you can become more, you realise what's important as you get older, and you don't major on minor things so much. But I used to be, when someone would say something about network marketing, I used to be sort of defensive and go, oh well, I'm sorry you think like that, but I don't really think that that's correct. And I was almost like pathetic with it. It was like, oh, I wish you liked us more. I wish you thought we were okay. I learned to become almost aggressively defensive. I went into the other side and I started standing up for myself, right? Because if you tell me that what I've been doing for 34 years is anything other than ethical, I might punch your lights out, okay? Because you're talking about my family, you're talking about my friends, you're talking about an industry that's taken up more than half of my life, you're talking about an industry that I am so proud of, okay? You're talking about something which is very precious. If someone came to your home and said, I don't like your children, I think they're ugly, and I think you should send them away to some foreign country, what would you say to them? You say, excuse me? Who the heck are you? Well, you don't know me, but I don't like your children, I think they're ugly. You say, what? Someone comes and I don't like your business, I think it's ugly. And you go, oh, do you? Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry, what's ugly about my business? What's wrong with it? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you know how this works? You don't do it like nastily. We had Mary and I were talking to a quite senior tax official in the UK, and we were discussing, because this chap's got quite a lot of power in sales tax environment in the UK, and we were chatting about our business. And the conversation was quite interesting, and then he suddenly said, oh, what you do, Peter, that's that pyramid selling, isn't it? And I went, it's what? And he said, pyramid selling, he said, it's not really, it's a bit of a little bit of a grey area. I said, I beg your pardon? I said, what do you know about it? Mary got quite worried, because she thought, well, don't upset him, Peter, because he's got a lot of power. He's a tax inspector, and he might come and, he might decide he's going to pick on our business. I thought, I'm not putting up with this. I said, tell me what you think you know about direct selling and network marketing. He said, well, they're all a bit, and they came out with his comments and his opinions. I said, come with me. I took him to the computer. I took him online, I showed him the business, I showed him the trips, I showed him what we were doing. I said, that is a legitimate online business all over the world and currently in 20-something countries. Furthermore, we do $20 million a month in that company. We don't have a structure that you understand, right? But there is nothing illegitimate about this business. And he went, I'm sorry. I said, well, I wasn't looking for an apology, but please do not tell me that my business is anything other than ethical and honest. He said, well, I didn't mean that. I said, no, you said, because you thought that what I was doing was, that you said, a little bit grey, a little bit sort of not sure about that. That's not appropriate, particularly from someone in your position. Now, whether that was, what it was at the end of the day, he would have got the message from me, you attack my business, I'm coming after you, right? You tell me network marketing is not, what we're doing is not, I don't care where you live, I'll sit you down and make sure that even if you don't join us, you understand you're wrong, right? I never used to do that. I used to just like go away and say, okay, sorry. I wasn't really like that, but I didn't know what to say. But if your mindset is you're proud of what you do, then you will stand up and you will say, what do you think you know? Tell me what you think you know. What is your understanding of what we do? Well, you do this. No. Let me explain what we do. And let me tell you why it's legal. Because even if you're not interested in World Ventures, it is essential that you understand how this works. And you need information so that you understand that we are fully licensed in Malaysia. We have a legitimate business. We have a law firm that represents us. We have an office. And we have some really great people, some really very nice people in this team in this country doing a legitimate job of introducing people to a membership club where they can travel extensively and have a very enjoyable experience. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? And you can do that from strength, all right? So that was all I wanted to say. Thank you. Anything else? Yes, sir. Do you want a microphone or can you shout?
I can shout, I think. My name is
Hi.
Nasir. Can you hear me?
Okay, what was your name?
Nes.
Nes. Oh, we met before, didn't we?
In Singapore.
Yeah, we did in Singapore.
With regards to the 4 commandments, right?
4 commandments. Okay.
I do hate to get into the management mode, but how do you, in these days of Facebook, right? How do you really control teammates or team members that are really stubborn and start blurting out dream trips online, complaints online? How do you advise them? You advise them one time. My experience was I got this person and he will post everything about dream trips online with the prices, and I'll say to him, please don't do that. Next week he'll post out complaints online. Please don't do that, right? And how do you counsel him?
James? James is the Facebook expert.
In fact, because we are living in an information world, there's no, there's no right or wrong of who wants to put any information up on the internet, okay? But the thing is, there is governing so-called policies within the company that actually controls and govern that. So if anyone were to do anything like this, what I'll do is that, okay, as friend or whatever, I'll tell you, I won't say that is a management thing, but it's more of like advisory or just telling it, okay? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. Do you know that compliance actually can get to you? So when you say things like that, there are just people who needs authority to tell them. We are not the authority. None of us here are the authority. The authority is the company. So compliance is the authority. So if I see anybody, in fact I see a lot, and I do tell those people to take certain things down, please do, because if not, compliance will get to you, you're going to get into, some problem or trouble. I would tell them first, if they consistently and despite multiple not going to abide by the rules, to protect the house, I would then send to compliance and let compliance deal with them. You get what I mean? So it's all our responsibility that I say that we will have to advise each other, because there's sometimes people just ignorant, they don't know. So when you tell them and they don't heed the advice a few times more, then compliance has to come in. Because we do have a governing body in our company to deal with such situation. That's all I will do.
Yeah. And Nes, were you talking about reps that are in the business doing this?
Yes, they are. Yeah.
Okay. These are not people that have left the company.
They are reps. The thing is that I think I agree with James about protecting the house. We have the deal here. We got good stuff. I think as building is business, sometimes we don't want it to be tainted in that sense, So I guess it's current reps.
Yeah. Again, I had someone quit the business, and he put some stuff on Facebook. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't about me. It was just that he decided to go into massive blame mode because he had to justify quitting the business. So he was saying dream trips are no good, the company's this, and blah, 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 blah. And he put all this stuff on Facebook, which was just rubbish, because I'd known the guy for 30 years, and he just wanted to justify his decision that he left. So he thought he would broadcast to everybody, I've left World Ventures and here's why. Now, I took the action, I wasn't going to say anything, but I thought about it for a few days, and then I sent him a private email. I didn't go on Facebook. I sent him a private email, and I said, Steve, I'm really disappointed in your behaviour. I thought you were bigger than that. I thought you were someone who wouldn't do things like that. Why would you want to damage Mary and I's business with that kind of commentary? You didn't respond to this email because I think you've already said enough. Now, he hasn't spoken to me since, but I know for sure that he hasn't not spoken to me because he's angry. He hasn't spoken to me because he's embarrassed. Because I didn't have a go at him, I didn't pick on him, I just said, I'm sorry you said that, because I think that you know full well that you didn't need to do that. If you want to leave World Ventures, you don't need to try and hurt us. So that's one way to deal with people, particularly on Facebook, because if it's open broadcasting, don't attack them. Just say, well, really, I have to say I don't understand where you've got that from. If you'd like to discuss it, give me a call. You know, don't attack them. Just say, no, perhaps this deserves a discussion. You see, there's the old adage which I've used many times, is when people have attacked me in business, I've actually said to them, you know, I'll forgive you for what you just said, okay? Because you obviously don't understand how hurtful what you've just said is. Because I think it's inappropriate, but I'm sorry you said it, and I forgive you for saying it. And if that is, and people are quite shocked when you say that. If you don't go back at them, you just say, okay, I've heard what you've had to say, and I forgive you for saying it, because it's unfair. What you've said is unfair. Okay, you know it's not true, and I'm sorry you said it. You take all the wind out. You haven't got an argument. They wanted an argument, and they haven't got one. They've got someone who's literally gone, okay? Sorry you've become like that.
Since we touch on this, like posting and maybe along that same kind of topic, I also understand. I'll take this opportunity to also address the recent radio thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure it possibly in your head, or there are people who actually ask you or talk to you about. Are you aware of that first?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Okay. So in fact, I'll just explain it in such a way that as long as a company or anyone who is big enough or growing, or people can see you as a threat or something like that, you are going to attract a lot of people who want to take you down. There are people who just want to do something to slow you down, to take you down. All right, and in fact, this is not just the first case or the only case, and it will be the last case that's going to happen. We have to be prepared for such things. All right, any growing company, if you are big enough, you have to be prepared about some things like that. Okay, so even in Singapore, back in 2012, we also had the same thing. You know, in fact, it actually went on news. Right, and they covered up the whole logo, phases, and everything, you know, and even talk about the refer for, pay no more thing, you know, on news, you know. And the thing is, when all these things happen, basically as responsible leaders, okay, don't go on and start to try to defend it or try to talk about it or go everywhere and start, when you see people saying the wrong thing or not something not right, you go hate on, like what Peter was saying. Don't go hate on with all this situation, because when you go hate on, you're just playing into the game of those people who want to try to attack you. This happen in anything, and I would say how you handle all these things is let it to blow by the wind. So let it just blow it through first, and then how do you actually handle all these negative things and stuff like that, where people try to put things that are not true on it and to make believe that they are real, is that we do what we do. We do what's real. We put out all the positive things that we do, right? The happy moments, all the dream trips, people go on trips, these are real, all right? And I mean, But we are not a bunch of actors. You can't employ 200,000 actors all around the world to act this as if this is real. You get what I mean? So we are not employees. We have the freedom of speech. If I enjoy my life, I enjoy my life. If I change my life, I change my life. There are real people out there who, because of this platform, get their lives changed, get their life back, get the freedom that they want, get all the friendship and family ties, everything, bonding. We experience that, and this is real. Nobody can look right through our eyes the people who are benefiting from it and say this is not real. So if we can stand up and tell people this is why this is real, those people who didn't benefit from it, they can say whatever they want because they could have some hidden agenda, because they don't want us to succeed. There are other people who don't want us to succeed. Why? Because they want it themselves. Because they have other platforms that they could say that if we come in, they are going out. So they have to protect themselves. They have to do whatever it takes to take anyone as long as they feel that you're a threat. Why do I say that? Just think about it. It's on a national radio station. If this is real, why do you think this lady don't go out and straight away say the company name? Because it's already forewarned that she can say whatever she wants, but make sure you don't say the name. Why? Because if it's coming out and it's not real, who gets into trouble? The station gets into trouble. Whoever is the producer gets into trouble. Does that make sense? So, you see, in this world of all this information age, it's who can play the information the best wins the game. The radio station, the TV station, all the news station, they play information. It's information warfare, I call it. So if we all want to protect this, we all need to learn how do we handle information. You have to be mindful. And whatever you say actually has a lot of implication later on, especially now because of internet. Okay? So this is how I would say, and even all these people who actually do any blogs, positive blog, great. Negative blog, I tell you, why great? Great for them. Because how do they make money? You think bad news spread faster or good news? Bad news. If people want to make money on the internet, do they tell you bad things or good things? Bad things. That's how they earn their money. Does that make sense to you now? So whatever you see that they write, they will actually structure it so well that they just want you to help them spread. So if we don't fall into that trap, what I would recommend all of us do is to live the life we want, be happy, create those memories, wonderful memories with all our friends and relatives in this wonderful platform, and tell the world what we have here. And this is real, because we are real. Can we do that?
Yes. Before the next question, I want to also move, while we're going down that vein. Guys, I know from personal experience that this is not the end of it. You're going to get attacked again and again. It's going to happen, okay? Because, we've got some guys in the room here from Cyprus. Okay? Now, I don't know if you've been in the business long enough, but Cyprus got hammered in the media. Cyprus got really hammered. There were some real problems in Cyprus. In fact, it was before Asia was even open. And the Cypriot business took a hiding. It really, really did. Were you guys around when that was going on? You had media problems and that. They're still here. Look, they didn't run away, right? The bottom line is, it takes courage to stand up for what you believe. Right? You're going to get people envious, competitors who want to take us down. You're going to get stuff made up. You're going to get stuff that is people that left World Ventures and they just want to do harm, like the guy I told you about that we sponsored, was personally sponsored by me, that guy I told you about just now, who just can't keep quiet and they have to try and hurt us. It's going to happen. The bigger we get, you know the old saying, if you're not making waves, you're dead in the water. We make waves, and the bigger waves, we're making bigger waves and bigger waves now, and our competitors don't like it because their boats are going like this, okay? Because we're making waves, and what they're afraid of is we're going to tip their boats over because we make bigger waves than they make. Well, guess what? We're not going to sink them, okay, but we are going to make them seasick, all right?
I need to know the other definition of creative.
The other definition. Didn't know there was another one.
Maybe you can share it.
Which one have we covered?
Beside approaching or...
Okay, well, the other definition of creative is as a human being. Forget network marketing. What I was trying to explain here, and perhaps it's a translation issue, I don't know. Creative means that you are a fully active person who's doing things for your future. You are pushing out, okay, from where you stand and doing what this business requires. You're talking to people, you're prospecting people, you're going to events, you're bringing people to meetings, you're attending meetings, you're attending trainings, you're doing everything that the business requires. All the things that are listed as successful things to be doing is creative. Okay? So it's not about a creative approach or a creative phrase or words. It's about you are projecting. You're on fire. You are creative. Does that make sense? You're making stuff happen. Instead of looking at yourself, looking at your group and looking down on what's going wrong and trying to analyse what's going on out there. Does that make sense? Okay. And anything else? Anybody else? Yes.
Yeah, please. I just have my friends to this afternoon to I think he free me to enjoy in World Venture. They are doing another MLM company which is New Skin. Why the outside the market keep on differentiate the plan, the marketing plan is different from them. We are not genuine, they are genuine.
What they say that we're not. They say ours is genuine and theirs is genuine.
Yes. They say ask me to explain our complaint, then they explain their complaint, what is the difference, why we are not genuine, they are genuine.
So he has said to you that his complaint is genuine and ours isn't.
They're thinking that.
They're thinking we're not genuine.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that they want to stay in New Skin, okay? And they want you to join New Skin. And they're basically putting down your business because our plan is genuine because it's legal, it's approved, it's a different way of paying people. I know the New Skin plan, so does James. James was in New Skin.
How can we change our mind?
You can't change someone's mind.
You can't change their mind, but you can change your mind. Okay, anyway, just jump in here.
What did I say? Like, were you at the meeting last night? Next. Okay.
I just want to share when you see every time when you get all these people coming to you or attacking you or trying to bring you down or whatever. I mean, of course, a very natural response or how normally people react is to defend it, to basically go head on. All right. But I'm sharing with all of you my personal way of handling stuff is that when people challenge me like that, I don't like to go head on. Because if I go head on, basically I'm just trying to see either you lose or I lose. I will say, I'm not even trying to avoid it. I'll just say, look at them. I don't want to trash them. I don't trash anyone. I'll just say that I agree to disagree. Because I see value in what we have, and you do. let's part, you know, and then you do your stuff, I do my stuff. Respect each other, and then let's create wealth together. So I will go one round, and basically I want people to do this in a harmonious way. Because if I attack them, and even if I'm right, I created another enemy. I don't want that. I want eventually, because we know deep inside first, we are real. It is legit. If you move on, and if you create success, when you get what you want, and if they haven't get what they want, at least you didn't burn him out. He might say, maybe that time I didn't see what you see. And then he or she might say, wow, this success I would like to have. And you might even get another person coming up to you and might be open up. You get me? Anyone that will try to attack you or to go against you, just have a friend, because no point to actually argue your way out to prove them wrong. Because Houston is a good company. They have been around for 30 years, right? I'm not saying that we are anything lesser than them. It's just that there's no point to argue. If they say we are what did he say? We're not genuine. Our complaint is not genuine, and the other complaint, you see, it's almost like Apple and Microsoft, the staff saying that my product is better and yours is not. You know, how are you going to argue that? You get me? So, you can't say that. What did I say?
Apple better.
Apple. I mean, anyone can keep arguing that, but there's no outcome.
Samsung cheaper.
You see my point? So let them go. Like, say next. Right? Because this is not here, we are not here. You don't use this time. You use this time to find another person who see it. Don't waste this time trying to argue it.
Next question, anybody? Anybody else?
The James, I can chat about. Most of my customer member or businessmen, when they want to join or outsider or new networks company, they always say compare. Do you think that your world venture will be going up to the 50 position up? And then in the same time, can you beat like C-Trade, Expedia, Agoda, all these things? In terms of business and people booking in. Yeah.
So, did you translate?
I get what it is. It's basically saying that there are business partners, from other businesses,
yes,
or people when you approach them, they're challenging basically. Can you be the top 50 company, direct sales company? Can you beat other so-called booking engine? You know, that kind of thing.
Can we?
Can we? Yeah, can we? Right?
Eventually, yeah. You know, we're not perfect, and there's no company that's perfect on earth. But perfection is not given to us as human beings. No, businesses, people are not perfect. We are striving to do our best, and we could one day be in the top 10. But to be honest with you, you know, people say we're going to be number 1. Honestly, it doesn't matter if we're number 1. Because you could say, well, what's the number 1 drink? Is it Pepsi Cola? Is it Coca-Cola? Is it, I don't know, is it Red Bull? Who cares? They're fantastically big companies with a lot of people making a lot of money. So it doesn't really matter if we're number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6, as long as we have a healthy, strong business at the top of its game, okay? Because those things change. So our job is to be the best we can at what we do. So the answer would be, yeah, we're working on becoming, we're already, in terms of direct selling companies, we're 65th, okay? And the top 100 direct selling companies on the face of the planet, which is amazing success story after 8 years, okay? So yes, we're working on that. That's work in progress. Once it's, by the way, you need to know, once it's really, really good and it's right up there, the opportunity will be over. Because the opportunity comes to those people who dig it out. You know, when a gold mine is quiet, it's because all the gold's gone out of it, right? You've got to get in there and dig it out. Because what you're doing is you are pioneers. You are the people laying down the ground. what's funny for you guys, and I know this from personal experience, in 5 or 10 years' time, you're going to have reps saying to you, there's only 5,000 dream trips. What? There's only 5,000 dream trips. Yeah. Why aren't there 6,000? They aren't going to say that, because it's never enough. It's never enough. Okay? We're only in 78 countries. Why aren't we in 100 countries? Well, the opportunity is not big enough for you, right? When I started, we were in America. There were no dream trips in anywhere in Europe. When James started, there were no dream trips in Asia, right? So if we can do it with no product, you can do it with product.
And I do understand that there are people that you present to or whatever, they're definitely going to throw you challenges like that, or are you sure, is this company going to be this way or that way? There are people who will say, if I join now, can you confirm that this company will be stay in business forever, you know, that kind of thing. What if the company go down, you know, that kind of thing. Okay, to handle those people who give you the challenges, again, don't go head on with all these people, no point, you're wasting time. But if let's say somebody would have asked me, are you sure it can go into the 100 or top 50 or whatever and things like that? I said, I'm pretty confident this company is working towards that. And in fact, we are looking for people to work together to get us there. Do you want to be those people to help us get it there? Yeah. Then we make the money together. I mean, if you want the company to be there first, then you join, other people already make the money. So that's why when every time when I first started building this, a lot of people challenge me. There's no trips, there's nothing here. Why do you want to do it? Why would I want to do it? Why would other people want to do it? My response to them is that it's not, oh, you're right, we can't do it. My response to them is, I'm looking for pioneers. Pioneers come in when things are not there. Pioneers don't come in when things are all there.
Yeah.
So are you a pioneer or you can wait? I'm looking for pioneers. Are you the pioneer I'm looking for? That's what I will question them. That's what I'm asking them. That's why people who come on board at that time have already the mindset that they are the pioneers to bring where we want to go. That's all. Okay?
Any more questions? Anybody else? Okay, well, can I just finish with one last subject? Because it's 10 to 10 and we've been talking by then, just for a quick 5 minutes. Can I just cover one more subject? One of the things that I wanted to also share with you tonight is one of the keys of success, which is, as well as these 4 steps here, there's one other magical word. It's an English word, and I don't know if it translates as one word or several words, but you know, it's an English word which is critical to network marketing, and that word is duplication. Okay? Now, one of the things that I did as a young networker was I locked into that word really hard, and I made a conscious decision to duplicate what I saw, which is why it's important that we're doing this. Because your people will duplicate what you're doing. They will also duplicate what you're not doing, okay? Or you manage, they'll manage. You blame, they'll blame. They copy you. They will watch what you do and they will do exactly what you do. You go to the events, they go to the events. You go to the training, they go to the training. You stand on stage and say certain words, they'll repeat them. You do a presentation on a laptop, they'll do the same presentation and use the same videos. So be careful, because they're like children, although that's without patronising them. They're not children, but they don't know how this works, and you apparently do. So they'll copy you. Duplication is critical. It's critical that we get it right. But what I want to do is not so much say to you that, you know, duplication is something that you have to push out. In other words, be careful what you're doing because your group will duplicate it. I want to turn that on its head tonight. I want you to duplicate leadership that you see. Great leadership, like James Lee and Sir Irwin. People who are confident, passionate, dedicated, committed. People who stand for the business. and copy what they do. Copy the way they speak to people. Copy the way that they greet people. Copy the way that they embrace people. Copy the way that the words that come out of their mouths. Okay? When I was a young networker, I watched people making money. I watched the way they walked into a room. I watched the way they shook hands. I watched the way that they, where they sat in the room. I heard the things they said to people. I thought, I'm going to say that to my people. I listened to little tips and things that they said. I thought, I like that. I'm going to use that. I stole their stuff. I stole Rich DeVos's stuff, right? Because I thought, you're where I want to be. You have the success that I want. Therefore, whatever you're saying and whatever you're doing, I need to grab it. I need to take it for my own. I need to make that my own. You need to copy. Success gives out clues. Success leaves clues lying around. Success does not come and knock on your door and say, hello, I'm Success, do you want me? Success has to be picked up. Success will lay there and go, I'm Success, but you obviously don't want me. I do. Then pick this piece up because it's part of the puzzle. You need to be doing this, you need to be doing this, you need to be doing this. You pick up all the pieces of the puzzle until you create the picture. Success is like a painting. It's lots and lots of brush strokes. It's not just one brush stroke. A painting is a series of brushes until you get a painting that makes sense. Success is pieces of stuff. The way someone presents the business, the way that James Lee, when he's standing on the stage like he wants to go to the bathroom, it might be that you need to stand on the stage like you want to go to the bathroom. I don't know. But it could be that's the secret, right? I used to say to people, I used to sit there, I used to take leaders, listen, this is one for you. If somebody's making $1 million a year in network marketing, you should take them out to dinner and you should pay for the dinner. I'm not looking for you to buy me dinner, by the way. What I'm saying is, you could spend an hour with someone who's that successful and pick up lots of stuff they'll say. It's worth the price of a dinner. If Richard Branson, who's one of the richest men on the planet, is a multi-billionaire, Richard Branson owns Virgin Airlines, you probably know that. If he was to say to you, let's have dinner, I'd say, Richard, we'll have dinner and I'm paying. Because I want to see where you are, where you think, what you know about business that might help me. It's worth the price of dinner for him, for me to listen to what he's saying. Because I'm not a billionaire, he is. There's going to be stuff that he'll say that'll be, wow, I like that, I'll use that. I'll pick stuff up from success. So, you're sitting with your upline, I used to say, right, I'm having a hamburger. If my sponsor, my upline, the guy, my mentor, the person I want, if he has onions in his hamburger, I'll have onions in mine. I don't like onions, but that might be the secret, That's stupid, right? But somebody's making 10 grand a week, right? And he walks like this. That might be the secret. I'm being stupid. You go to work tomorrow and you start walking around the office. And people go, what is wrong with you? Nothing? Well, what are you doing? It's a 10 grand a week. It's a what? I know a guy making 10 grand a week walks like this. It might be the secret, I don't know. I'm being silly. What I'm saying is, watch success. It leaves clues, okay? Pick them up. They're free. I'm going to charge you for them. I used to watch the guy that was my mentor in network marketing, his name was Peter. God bless him, he died young. He died at 69 of cancer. Just one of the loveliest men on earth. And he was my only mentor in network marketing. I used to watch him come into a room. He was quite a bit older than me. I used to walk into a room, I used to watch him talk to people, what he said, little things he said to them. He was a successful man. He became free in his 40s in network marketing. He never worked for anybody ever again. He just had a lovely life because he and his wife were free. And those last 25 years of his life, he was free. He didn't know he was going to die at 69. But this was a man who was just a giver. And somebody who I grew to love because he taught me. He said to me one day, he said, he was speaking on the phone, he said to me, Pete, that blah, 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 he said that probably won't work. I said, how do you know, Pete? How do you know? He said, because he was 41 at the time, and I was 23, 24. He said, because when you've been 41, when you're 41, you've been 23. When you're 23, you haven't been 41, I'm telling you that. I said, really? He said, yeah, trust me, it won't work. And he was right, because he had experience. And it was another clue. He was just trying to gently say, you need to stop doing that. That's not going to work. So, success leaves clues, guys. Copy success. It's free. It doesn't cost you any money to pick up stuff. You watch people. James Lee, you see the way he operates. You see the way he works. Grab some of that stuff. Okay? Make it your own. Use some of the words. Use the buzz. You don't have to look like you need to go to the toilet. What you've got to do, what you don't want to do is eat as much food as he eats. James can eat for Singapore. The whole of Singapore, James can eat it. Right? I've never known a guy, I mean, he must have the most, the reason he jumps up there is because the most amazing metabolism. He must burn food, you know? I've never seen him eat so much stuff. He just, you know, he's like a bit, I figured that if there was like, in a restaurant, if there was like food on the floor and he'd hold James upside down and he'd just pick it up. Like a big vacuum cleaner. You don't need a vacuum cleaner, you need a James. Right, I just wanted to cover duplication because this is a key word in our business. All right. I mean, if there's any other questions, okay, we've had a couple of hours, and I just want to say this before Mary and I leave. I know we can talk afterwards, and I don't know if Sir Owen wants to say anything, and if James, if you anything else you want to say, I just want to say thank you for your tremendous hospitality. Being in Asia is a joy because the people are so gracious. You're so respectful, and you're so easy to work with. If you work in Hungary, okay, or Serbia, they look at you like this. I'm not joking. You're all right in Greece and Cyprus because these guys are fun guys. But when you're in Hungary, they're sort of, they were Soviet, they were part of Russian, you know, Soviet, what's his name, communists. They're all like, that guy's going to eat me. That one over there's going to eat me. They do. So, you know, you do a presentation, you think, I don't think I'm going to get out of here alive. They're fine because they'll nut you afterwards. Oh, this is good, I like this. This is well, thankful people this, because that's the way they talk. So, you know, they're okay. It's just that they're sort of a bit Russian, okay, which is a bit strange. So, working with you guys, smiles, it's... Oh, by the way, I haven't had my photograph taken yet. If anybody's got a camera, I'm joking. I've had my photograph taken about 700,000 times. And I'm sure it's going to happen again in a minute. What's with this? One more. Why isn't one enough? Why is it one more? One, two, three, one more. Kyle Lowe sent me an email saying, how are you getting on? I said, and all I said was, 1, 2, 3, one more, 1, 2, 3. Thanks for listening.
Hi. Our number one upline in UK is with us now. And we really appreciate so far away, all the way fly to Asia. And this is not the end. I think they are going to Hong Kong. Okay? They go to Beijing, they go to Johor, they go to Singapore, they come to Kuala Lumpur. And I understand that whole day to give presentation. And we also understand that Asia is very big. It's his elephant leg. Okay? Asia, he can't do anything, but he's still here. This is something we have to learn. Many of us, we don't care about elephant leg because it's too big, we don't care. Okay? Peter's success is not because now his success only he do this thing. It's because he do this thing, he becomes successful. Agree or not? So please, don't think everything about money. Think about everything about what you need to do. We really appreciate Peter and especially last night. Okay? Who is not here last night? Raise your hand. You lost your half of your life. By seeing the video. Please catch the video. Okay? Last night is fantastic. Okay? Now, last night you can see a tall man and a short man. Then you can see what is the difference. The tall man had to stand very stable, talk very steady. The short man had to jump. Anyway, James, of course, is our best friend. Okay? Ever he will be in Malaysia, he will be here. Okay? We also like to thank James Lee. Thank you. And also, must always be our MC. Do you know she's pregnant now? Even yet, she's still here. Thank you very much. And we learned a lot from Peter Powderham. The powder in up the ham. In this company, and he's here to prove to us, to show us it works. It works. Okay? People don't believe. Wow, cycle. How can we go to the maximum cycle? Okay? Peter have 4,000 cycle a month. And residual maximum is 50,000, right? Cannot work. But Peter is here to show us every month he got 200 over 1,000 maximum. So it works. And many people tell us binary, not genuine. Okay? Metric only genuine. Okay? You don't play them. Okay? All the metric will face problem. But why they don't change? Because they cannot change. Because they are too long. They have too many people. They cannot change. Okay? But they really suffer. They try very best to change their country. They need to be very sure with you. Why they say cannot work? They say 101% elephant leg. That's why cannot work. If you have elephant leg, you have to thank God. Because forever you work for one side. Okay? But here again, Peter again, here to show us, not necessarily. Peter, this side of 50 over 1,000, 51,000, here got 58,000. Equal. Understand? You understood? You stood up? Understand now? It worked. Okay? So Peter, last night you have motivated me. You have motivated a lot of people. Okay? I'm a big guy. I'm taller than Jim. But until I saw Peter last night said, all the people he met is small people. Because he's too short. 5'9". 6'9". Oh, 6'9". Understand? Okay. Huh? 6 feet 5 inches. That is 190. 190. Okay? You have to see him like this. Okay. Really, someone really motivated. You understand? And there is only one account. He have a lot of accounts. How many secret accounts? And I saw his back office. Back office only 2 year history, you know. about 2 years history. Before that, we didn't have this, what we call e-wallet, something like this. So with the 2 year, Malaysia ringgit 10 over million. Yeah, me. He said very carefully. 2 years, that means only one account, 10 over million. 1000幾萬啊，1000多萬 ，enough for you or not? This is the thing we are doing. And please, we are pioneer. If you want to be a pioneer, you have to earn the right. Earn the right to what? You have to face a lot of things. Understand or not? Those people cannot be pioneer. Never mind, ask them go back and sleep. Cannot be everybody coming, right or not? After we get problem. Those people think that new scheme very good, carry on. Or else we will not be coming today. Please don't let everybody come in, please. But our job is we see anybody, we have to talk to him. Okay, we have to. But decision, they make their own decision. Agree or not? Yes. That's it. Okay? And duplicating. Please duplicate the successful. Success is easy, and yes, success is difficult. Difficult means until today, many people still think can fall. Easy is follow the successful people footsteps. You can work the same destiny. Agree or not? Yes. And beautiful of this business, all the successful people allow you to follow their footsteps. And they even show you the way. Because this work, this business is fantastic. If you want to be successful, you have to make your people be successful. Only you can be more successful. So this kind of business definitely it will grow. It can work. And people like me, people like Peter, we are somebody. Why I say that? Because he pensioned. He's a pensioner. No need to work. This guy also pensioner. No need to work. But why we still jump back, stick with World Venture? Must be something behind. You cannot be smarter than me. Never. I have 5 PhD. Your information, 5 PhD. Okay? I don't know he have how many PhD. You will never smarter than us. You have, no. You have MLM PhD. But James, I don't know lah. Because James, the time got no dream, got nothing, he just stick to it. Okay, he still stick with World Venture. It's fantastic. I don't understand him. But he reserved the thing because he got 130,000 of members under him. Have 450,000. Okay? And last and not least, we like to thank Peter, Powderham, and Mary one more time. We sing a birthday song for this month birthday boy, birthday girl. Come up all the birthday